Hi Scorpio, welcome to your early May 2019 Spiritual Pep Talk. And this is something I've been trying out, and it's been a lot of fun to do this new type of reading. And so we'll see what happens with you. I've already done several of them. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards and 1 native spirit oracle card, and it's going to be just it's not going to be like a spread as I normally do with the tarot, but just 3 cards and dealing with the here and now, seeing what comes up, seeing how I can put it in an inspiring light, and hopefully it reflects some of the themes that are going on in your life. But even if it doesn't, it can still be a message that may make you think at the very least, and that's my intention. And I've also put this type of reading on my website, and I have a special offer below, so you can check that out if this kind of resonates with you. It's kind of like a mini tarot reading is basically what it is, but it's not, with all these different positions. It's just kind of like a message. So let's see what comes up here. And I'm going to put the top, okay, I said the top 3 cards, but I don't remember if I picked from this deck or what. Well, we're going to pick these 3 cards. Boy, that didn't take long for me to forget what I picked. Okay, and then a native spirit card. I'm just going to shuffle for a second and see what comes up here. Do 3 shuffles. Oh, we all know what a sweat lodge is, right? But I'm going to read from the booklet so that I can give you the full full description. So the first card that I got from the tarot is the Strength card, and it's funny, I did get 2 cards that are fire energies. The Strength card connects to Leo, and there are 2 cards that I pick that when I pick them, I always think that the person maybe is going through something particularly intense, and they're kind of like holding on for dear life. And I think a lot of us have had those experiences where it's like very, very stressful. It's very, very trying. And the 2 cards are the Strength card and the Star card. And both major arcana. And what I mean is that the Strength card could be telling you to hang in there. That this too shall pass. But also that you are getting stronger. Whatever you have been dealing with. And so that's what I'm trying to say, is that I'm assuming that this card comes up because people have been going through something. And the same thing when I pick the Star card, where it's like healing. Well, in order to heal, it means that you've had to have something that needs healing. So for this card, needing to have strength because there's something challenging. And of course, probably in our life, everybody has a challenge, at least one challenge that's going on for them, but maybe this one has been a doozy. Let's just keep going and seeing what else comes up here. The Ace of Wands. So this can be, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, we're dealing with spring, and this is a card that I associate with Aries, but it is a fire energy and new beginnings. That's why we have the leaves sprouting. And a sense of, to me, there's like a sense of confidence. Same with the Strength card, of like new beginnings, but knowing who you are and where you're going. So it's kind of interesting. Sometimes people even are in relationships where they have dealt with abuse, and they deal with the craziest things. I mean, with just outrageous stuff. And then one day, the person does something that just totally takes them over the edge, and they are like out of there. And you can make the case of like, well, why didn't you leave sooner? It wasn't like that was the first outrageous thing that person did, but it finally sunk in that they didn't deserve that. And so with the Ace of Wands, it's kind of like when you have been perhaps teetering in a situation where you're not quite sure if you want to go in this direction or that direction, or start something or not start something, and then you're just like very confident that you're making the right choice, and there's a sense of strength and momentum behind you. And it's funny because I'm looking at, I said momentum, and then I just looked at that card again, and it almost looks like a gust of, wind or a cyclone that's just pushing new beginnings along. And yes, sometimes that does happen where another person actually helps you to make that decision because they've just done the wrong thing one time too many. And then the last card I have, well, this one is definitely a card that we know about, and it's kind of an infamous major arcana card, the Tower. And one of the things that I say to people is that the Tower is also a card of release. We talk about the Tower as being some kind of calamity, where something just seems to just fall apart. But really, it's like kind of like this tension building up that finally needs some sort of outlet and release. And then, like when two people have not been dealing with their problems and they have like a terrible blow up, and then they clear the air. And sometimes that blow up can lead to the people, being estranged. I'm not saying that it's always going to be that the people stay together, but it does release the tension. The tension, if you feel in your life that you are kind of on the edge, that you are just always bottling up your emotions, you're always kind of sucking in all of the problems, something's got to give, you know what I mean? And even if it's something that just creates like this calamity, when the initial shock is over, there will be a sense of relief, because it's inevitable that when you are no longer holding in a lot of stress, that you are able to feel kind of like that sense of relief. And so, obviously the best thing to do in life is to always be aware of that as soon as possible, and not allow things to build up. And if you are feeling like you can't be honest with somebody, then that's a real sign that you shouldn't even be in a relationship with such a person. But I just want the point that I'm trying to make is that the Tower is actually a good thing. It's being let out of prison, and not and also the other thing too is having a sense of a revelation that doesn't have to be a calamity. It can be an aha moment of how, putting together, like I look at these two cards. This is a card of independence, as well as enthusiastic new beginnings, the Ace of Wands. So let's say that you endured a negative job situation and you got laid off, and you have thought about that as a bad thing. You may realize now that that was the best thing that ever happened to you, because it's allowing you to go in your own direction. With the Ace of Wands, this could even be you starting your own business. And I was just reading, this may have been as long as 10 years ago, that because of in the United States at least, the way the economy was, that people were creating their own jobs. And I wasn't sure by the article that, I can't remember if they were implying that it was a temporary thing, that they were forced to find some way to make money or what. But they were just saying that people were doing that. And my thing was, wow, that's really awesome. So this thing that we all thought was bad is allowing people to be resourceful enough to do something for themselves. And when they think about it, they may actually say, I don't want to go back to that other way of doing things. Because there may have been many upsides to working for themselves. They may have felt fulfillment creatively. They may have felt more autonomous. And, I'm not saying it's 100% in the plus column. There may have been things that working for somebody else is an advantage. But I'm just saying that you may feel that something that you have been dealing with is actually a blessing in disguise. I guess that's the best way of putting it. Okay, and then we have here, I love these colors. This is one of my favorite color, that purplish blue, Sweat Lodge. And I'll read from the booklet and see. It'll be interesting if it corresponds with those other cards, because so far I've had a lot of that. Okay. Cleanse yourself, body, mind, and soul. Purify. Clutter clear. Let go of objects and relationships that no longer serve you. Well, there's the Tower. I mean, if you don't let go, it will be let go for you, I guess you could say. Purify your body, go within, meditate, talk to the Creator, give thanks. One thing I want to say before I continue is that, now this is later in May. This reading is intended for the early part of May, but there is going to be a full moon in your sign, a late degree of Scorpio, 27 degrees. So all of those things that I just read really apply to the sign of Scorpio. It's a sign of purification, purging, and then the fact that it's in your sign, this is happening to you. The full moon is associated with purification too. That's why they have those, people fast sometimes with the full moon and things like that. Sweat lodges are small dome structures covered with skins, blankets, or mud in which very hot stones are placed in the center. Water is poured over the stones so that hot steam arises from the rocks. Thus, the sweat lodge with its hot steam is used for purification ceremonies as well as a place to commune with the divine. So in other words, like a sauna. This card shows you to tell you that it's time to clear out the clutter in your life. Sometimes clutter can be things in your closet that you don't love or use. But sometimes clutter can be outmoded relationships or habits that no longer serve you. The clearer your inner and outer space becomes, the easier it will be to hear the sweet messages from your soul. Okay. Now, what's really cool about this particular native spirit guidebook is that it also gives you practical tips on how to go about this. So they say, sometimes this card chooses you when it's time to do some physical detoxification. Fast for a day. Drink green juices. Clear out some clutter. Love it, use it, or get rid of it. Even one small item can make a difference. So, I hope that you enjoyed this, Scorpio, and all the best to you. It's funny because I realize I said this is early May, and it is, we're heading towards the middle of May. It's the 5th already. So anyway, take care. Bye.